Hello YouTube, here it's Lisa Stade of the YouTube channels of Lisa Stade and Hitler Obsessed, coming to you all here to tell you about part 12 or part 1 of the lecture series of the life and death of Adolf Hitler. Now yes, Hitler would say to the Munich police there, when they would ask him if he was starting a Billhole putsch. Oh no, not the Billhole putsch. They wouldn't know where the heck the place is happening. They would just ask him if he's starting a putsch, a coup d'etat. That would not be a meme, like January 6th, but would still be a meme, if anything, because the thing would fail miserably. A little bit of a hint, spoiler alert on our lecture series here. But Adolf Hitler would say, "No, I'm not trying to start a putsch. My word is my honor." Now in Germany, if you said, "Your word is your honor," and to this day, honor is taken seriously. You can actually also beat up somebody if someone's trying to slander you, or treat you like crap and destroy your honor. Somebody that's trying to what they call backstabbing or gossiping or whatever, slander you, smear campaign if you're in politics, and destroy your public standing and your reputation with society. In Germany, you're even allowed to beat the crap out of someone in Germany for that, to protect your honor. Here in America, I think you get a loyal, that's all. Germany does things different. Germany is like what I think of the Midwest. Well, more with common sense, I guess. But Hitler would say, "Yes, my word is my honor," and they would eventually trust Hitler, and they would let him go. They probably should have realized what they were dealing with is not a very honorable guy, because the Nazi Party would know a lot about a lot of things Hitler was doing. His personal life, his private life. Oh, and all the other stuff that happened in his later on in his life with his niece, would also turn into a lovely smear campaign that Hitler was lucky to actually get out of. Kind of like most people though in Congress, if they go through any problems, they do get out of it scot-free. I think it probably happened with Cuomo, if I'm not mistaken. It probably happened with him. I lost focus on that little news event because that's not like Sacramento, California. It's New York City. That's like other YouTubers that I follow area. That's not really of importance to me. But yet again, they would let him go. And so Hitler would start making his plans more and more. And eventually he would turn up at a beer hall with a couple of alliances that he thought that would help him out. And there was the World War I hero there of Ludendorff and I guess Hindenburg. There were World War I military, heroes there, that were pretty much very important figures in German society at the time. And Hitler would come in with a lot of the Nazi leaders that would turn up. Eventually, yes, Göring would turn up and become part of the SA. And Heinrich Himmler, the future leader of the SS. But at this time, Himmler is the SA. So he's a brown shirt. He would eventually hate the SA and Rahmen. That would turn up later on though. But eventually they come in, Hitler would walk into the beer hall in pretty much the most goofiest style. A lederhosen, a tail jacket there, and a bow tie, have a pistol in his hand and fire into the ceiling saying, "The revolution has begun." everybody that was around Hitler at this political campaign that was being held for a couple of leaders of the government thought Hitler looked like a friggin' joke. But no, he was holding a gun to them, so they were perfectly fine with doing, kind of going along with this plan until he kind of started failing, and then they left him. But Hitler would act like, now I got everything I want. Everything's gonna go swell and peachy keen. I'm gonna take over Germany, yay! Until people started leaving, things started going awry. And one journalist that was at the time, if you read this book, 1924, the year that made Hitler, would describe the situation before the infamous Billhole putsch marched to the downtown military headquarters there, where Hitler and a bunch of guys would get fired upon by the German police there. Hitler would have his shoulder dislocated, which was... if you've ever had a broken leg or anything dislocated, that's a lot of pain. That's not like a sprained knee. I had a sprained knee once recently due to somebody. That's pretty painful still. I have a good feeling Hitler having a dislocated shoulder because some guy took a bullet for him that was meant for him, who actually ended up dying. The guy died. Hitler ended up with the dislocated shoulder. But back to what I was saying about that journalist who described the situation before this march, and a Hitler in a lot of pain. Hitler in a lot of pain. A lot of people would laugh and think that's funny. I do too. Would describe the situation of the Billhole that Hitler was at, the Book of a Keller, when everybody was pretty much just bailing on him. I'm not going to go into complete detail, but it was a bunch of the government leaders that left him. Then Ludendorff and Hindenburg decided to bail on Hitler once his back was turned. And the whole situation goes to pot to the point that, like all good shitty relationships, these are all wonderful, but then you go through a breakup, it looks like heck for the person that went through the breakup. If you've been through one, you probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the whole scene looked like a huge mess. There was a bunch of Reichsbanks notes there, Reichsmarks there, from the local bank that was stolen by the SA during the putsch. Sitting on the speaker's lectern, pretty much just overflowing with this money, not being guarded at all. So anyone that was a broke college student that needed those student loans paid for could have just walked in, scooped that stuff up, and paid for their loans. And Hitler probably wouldn't have noticed what happened, because Hitler was seen sitting at a table there in the Billhole, with a bunch of beer steins, and his head just sitting down, hunched over with his head down, in a bunch of empty beer steins. Looked like he'd had drunken a good amount, probably enough to kill a fully grown African elephant. He obviously was drunk, and this would lead, just like all good ideas look good when you're drunk, to Hitler deciding to do a march down to the military barracks because of the two World War I leaders that left him, that he's gonna take over Germany from Munich. Just like I said, all good ideas start when you're drunk. They all look good. Doesn't mean they are good. Doesn't mean they're smart too. So that would end up with Hitler ending up with his shoulder dislocated. And eventually, when Hitler would have all that alcohol wear off on him, he probably was definitely in a lot of pain. and misery and suffering. And rolled up in the carpet too, because after we got back to a safe house there, one of the sponsors there of the Nazi party, which is called the Hoffensgirls, a couple of guys that were a family that made a very expensive, good quality, I guess, pianos, German pianos. Yeah. Before the Munich police would actually have him arrested and found. Yes, Hitler would be shoved into a getaway car, and at the time would grab a kid into the car. Yeah. And, knowing the Nazis, they would take this event and run with it for a political campaign. To portray Hitler as a wonderful, caring guy who would save a kid out of gunfire. I have a good feeling Hitler probably just grabbed the kid. Or maybe it was just being dragged off to the car and he probably just reached and grabbed the kid. I don't know if there was even a kid to begin with. But I have a good feeling, the kid, if that really happened, if you're still alive, please, or your family members are still alive, please tell me if that story is really true. But I have a good feeling that's like some stupid Nazi propaganda thing, so don't even bother leaving me a comment. But this is Lisa Stade here of the YouTube channels of Lisa Stade and Hitler Obsessed, signing off, telling you to make sure to subscribe to YouTube channels of Lisa Stade and Hitler Obsessed. Like these videos, hit the notification bell and set it to all. Subscribe to my YouTube channels. Share these videos, leave a comment. Go to my Patreon and my subscribe zone, donate to my Patreon. Become a patron, donate to my subscribe zone. You can go to my BitChute channel at bitchute.com. That's one word, Lisa Marie Stade. Only my channel would be nice. No one else's. They're not the best. I mean, they'll talk about Hitler, but they won't give, factual, orthodox lectures about Hitler. Then you can definitely send me a friend request or leave me a comment or do both on my Facebook page of Lisa Stade or my Facebook Messenger page of Lisa Stade. I have 2 Facebook pages. I suggest you do that with both, so at least I know probably which one you went to. If you can actually find this Facebook group called Hitler Interested History Buffs, if it's still up there, that's great if you want to join. I don't usually turn up there, so you might be stuck putting your posts there. That's okay. I will post on it, usually when I'm not busy with college and stuff. And now on to part 12 of part 2. Bye. I wonder how many policies I violate on this video series. I actually want these things to be done and over so I can get more different video series done. Like, I do want to do a review of the Lord of the Rings of Power. I want to do a review of, what is it? Oh, right. The, what is it? Oh, yeah, that's one. Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Yeah, it's a kid's book, but, there's a reason why I want to do that. If you've been watching this series, you probably can guess what it is. It's not Hitler, but it's something else it connected to. Give me the answer in the comments. Bye now.